Hello and welcome back to LazArcade with me, BSF Gaming. This is the second short stream for today. We are at Spa for round 2 of the European GT series in the Group 4s. So if you were here for the one earlier, then you know how this is going to work. Any European Group 4 car around European tracks, 15-minute sprint followed by a 50-minute endurance. So we're at Spa, one of my favourite tracks in the game, because well, it can do everything that it needs to do. It can rain, it can be day, night, and it's just a beautiful track. Lovely scenery, and in this case, 11 of the finest drivers that Gran Turismo want to give us. I say Gran Turismo want to give us. The LazArcade and the Precision Motorsport Discord servers have to provide. So we have done quali. For some reason, you can't save a quali replay, which is fine because you don't need it. Ryan qualified first, then Bon, then BSF Gaming, then Jeff, Wumjo, Axel, JW, Liam, Diva 40, and Perkalele at the back. We're going to literally jump straight in. I'm going to try and rattle through these two races as fast as possible because I want to get on and do some other bits as well. So Bon is in a Renault Megane Trophy Group 4 today. Everybody making it through Radion Rouge very well. Ryan in the McLaren pulling out, trying to use that top speed to slide through. BSF on the outside, already up to second. Backs into third. Jeff, Wumjo, Axel, all getting through nicely. Now, you may notice down in the bottom left-hand corner, next to the tyres, the wetometer. I have explained this before. The wetometer, that little three-piece bar down on the left-hand side between the tyres and the clock, shows you the current dampness of the piece of track that you are on. So the track is ever so slightly damp. There was a bit of rain pre-race, and these guys are going to have to deal with a lot of uppy downies in this race. Somebody there off in the background in a blue car. That's 40 off. Picking up a bit of damage, not ideal. Wumjo in the Ferrari. Liam out to the back, out to the moment. Up at the front, BSF and Jeff side by side. Jeff taking it into the bus stop chicane. And everybody behind just following through. Very nice. Top two having their own little battle as well at the moment. BSF looking into making a move, backs out, gets the run up the hill. Jeff off the track, may pick up a penalty for track limits. and does so quite a hefty 1 second there as well. However, with the speed gain, doesn't lose a place on the straight. And almost loses it into the fast chicane at the top of the hill. BSF all over the back, trying to find a way through. Cannot do it. He's going to have to wait for the penalty line by the looks of it. Axel followed by Percolele, who started at the back running wide. Lots of running wide. As they start to come down the hill, you will get track limits for that. And as they race down Pouon into the next chicane, Percolele holds the line. JW, whoa, and that's somebody flying off at the back there. That's a Womjo flying off at the back. Liam picking up a 1 second, Diva with a half second, 40 okay, JW okay, Percolele half second, Axel half second, Jeff with a 1 second. Top 2 duking it out. And as the track fully dries out after the little shower, there are quite a lot of cars in this little mid-pack, as always, duking it out. 40 looking to make a move on JW. On the outside, JW Percolele running wide, trying to get back on the track. JW going for the move on 40 into Radion and All Rouge, and this is going to get, oh, and Percolele just spears off into the wall in the background. JW going round the outside, picking up the slipstream from Axel. He's going to draft his way through. 40 now. Oh, a bit of a bump. And a bit more of a bump. And that sends JW round. Diva getting caught up in the ghosting, not sure where to go. 40 picking up a bit of damage and making his way on down the straight. So there is a penalty for this. If you make contact and you do not give the place back immediately, you will be given a place penalty at the end of the race. And it will be determined on how many places the guy you took out loses. So there's at least a 2-place penalty there coming for 40 at the end of the race. We have lost Womjo, so Womjo is out of this race. Any races that you do start in this series, you will get points for, depending on where you're classified. So even if you do disconnect or whatever, you'll still get points. Percolele, after that off down at Radion Rouge, is now trying to fight his way back with the damage. JW, having been spun out, is now making his way through. Diva on those mediums, he likes to go a bit of medium, is just following his way through, keeping it nice and clean, and just looking at picking up the places as people make mistakes. And that's Liam slow on the exit. Liam having to go defensive. Does so nicely. Diva just holding it on the outside there and following in the slipstream as they come back down the hill. This is gonna go. Liam sending it on 40 as they all hit the curb, and they all have to back off to get the grip back before track limits kick in. JW getting the run, takes Diva, takes Liam and 40 all in one straight, and Liam now contact with 40, he stops to let him through. So that there is exactly what you need to do. If you make the contact and you take the driver out, give them the place back straight away. You'll both lose places, but you'll save yourself a penalty at the end. And Liam taking a 1 second penalty for track limits in amongst all of that. Diva now just taking it easy as we're already into the 9-minute mark of this race, leaving only 6 to go, which is probably looking at around about 3 laps. Liam and 40 in the background, all over each other, and Liam not sure where to go. He's on the grass and he's hit Diva and hit 40, but he backs out. Oh, and Diva's gone around. And Liam pulling over off the track. Whoa, and Percolele flying through. Liam waiting for Diva, probably apologising on the radio for taking him out. Percolele with the massive fuel drain difference compared to that Merc. Look at the difference. 40 in the little Porsche. Axel a little bit deep into the bus stop chicane. What car's Axel in today? Is it a McLaren by the looks of it? We're cutting the nose off of Axel there, making it tight for him to go through. JW leading this little pack, long way off of Jeff, who is all over the back of BSF, who has the, he's got a times penalty for track limits. So these two duking it out backwards and forwards, and as they come to the top of the hill, BSF just following in behind Jeff, looking to set up the next move, and down the little short run into the hairpin, long hairpin, 180 degrees of off camber yuckiness, that corner. Jeff with a good run out of that corner, extending down the hill as they come into Puon. Jeff onto the curb, holding it steady. Tyres are starting to go off. BSF on the mediums with a bit more grip. Will be in a good place in the next lap or two. Bond is up here on some softs, and so is Ryan, as they disintegrate as the race goes on. Bond not being able to catch that McLaren at all. As we come up to the penalty line, Jeff here will pull away from BSF with a massive slowdown for a half-second penalty. And that may drop him back into this little gaggle here, as JW, 40, Axel on the grey, on the green stuff, bouncing around. Thinks better of a move into there. And is that Diva in the background? It is. Diva up to 8th now, working his way forward, having a very good lap, and takes the fastest lap, bringing himself right back into contention very early on, or very late on, should I say. very early on being taken out. JW again still leading this pack. Axel now picking up a 1 second penalty. Diva on those mediums chasing these soft runners down. As their grip starts to tail off, Divas will hold steady. It will be less peak grip, but it will have more stability and more predictability. BSF all over the curbs, trying to find any time to bring himself back to Jeff after that last penalty, and picking up another half second. Jeff also with a half second. So the status quo here is going to be held again unless something catastrophic goes on. JW, the new driver from last week, doing very well in 5th place. 4D and Axel now being hunted by Diva. Diva the magician is looking at making some late places. I have a black poppy cat sat right in front of me, and she's looking at me saying, "I want cuddles," which has nothing beared on the race. But hello, little poppy cats, come on. So Diva chasing 4D, who is up the inside of Axel. He's going to serve that penalty and lose out to Liam as well. Percolele, having pitted to repair his damage, is miles off the back of the field, unfortunately. That 1 second penalty for Axel, dropping him all sorts of positions back. Diva following 4D. A little bit deep on the entry, tidies it up, and that's the end of the race so far for Jeff. So BSF Gaming 4, JW 4D, Diva 7th, Axel, Liam, Percolele's going to come in 10th. The two leaders have gone on for another lap, but Ryan is quite a long way up the road from Bonn, so almost magically that 15 minutes has disappeared. As Bonn runs slightly wide, the tyres of these two up the top really starting to cry in pain. And if they can just hold it together, they may come home in this order. And they should, in theory. There's a big enough gap here, any mistakes should be easily corrected. Jump onto the race leader Ryan. He's now quite a long way up the road, just holding it steady, not forcing it, still at full tilt. Very fine movements with the steering. Loading the car up gently. Doesn't want to force it into anything it can't handle at this late stage. The only thing that would really hurt him now is a reset. And as he exits the bus stop for the final time, taking the win, and Bonn coming home in second. So we have Ryan first, Bonn second, Jeff just missing out on the final lap in third, BSF fourth. Is that Spaniard? No, it's not. It's JW is fifth. Well done there. 40 Diva, Axel, Liam, Percolele having pitted for repairs, coming home last on the track, and Wamjo with the early exit after what looked like a possible disconnect issue. We'll jump straight into race 2. And the reverse grid here will put Wamjo into the lead, having started but not finished. Did get back for the second race. Leo, Maxwell, Percolele, Fordy, Diva, JW, BSF, Jeff, Bon and Ryan at the back. And as they head up Radion and Oru onto the back straight, 4 wide, 5 wide, bit of bumping, and Monsieur Bon is in a new car. And this car is not, with a bit of contact there from Jeff giving the place back and taking another, almost losing another place. That is not a European GT car. So, unfortunately, a penalty will be applied after the race. Now, in theory, this is a complete disqualification, but, and I say but, I know I did not see this before the race, so I haven't given him any direction to change car, so partly my own fault. So a full disqualification for me being sidetracked and not doing my bit, maybe a little bit harsh, but we'll figure out something. I'll have to dig through the rule book and see what I can come up with. However, up to 7th, doing very well as we file down the back straight. Everybody in a train, looking at a move on the inside of Jeff. Makes the corner. Liam a little bit deep into the bus stop, and as they filter through, Liam with a bad exit again. That Lambo being very, very heavy. Not perfect out of those slow speed corners. Ryan now all over the back of BSF, who is hunting down Axel. Wamjo in the lead, doing a very good job of just holding it out front, far enough ahead for that slipstream not to cause too much nuisance. BSF though, looking at a move on Axel, with Ryan on a move on him. This could get spicy. BSF running a bit deep into the corner to get the apex for the next one. Opens up the steering. Running right onto the curb. Ryan losing a bit of track position as he has to back out not to make the contact. Bon now sliding through on Axel. Axel with Jeff all over the back of him. Liam behind that. JW starting a little bit further back this race. Stuck behind Liam. Diva on his softs at the moment. Not on his preferred tyre. Just chilling at the back. Doing his little strategy, which usually works very well. And as the darkness rolls in, this is going to get a little bit dark and wet. The headlights are on. The track is getting greasy. You see the shine as the headlights come down the track. Fordy sitting behind Percolele, sat behind Liam, sat behind JW. As they all race around, there's a little tile squeal. And that's Percolele off in the background. And having crashed in the first race, has crashed all on his own again in this second race. And he jumps into the pits. BSF is also into the pits from second to third place. And the wetometer is starting to creep up. So these two, Percolele having crashed, going in to repair the damage, has actually got away with maybe a good strategy call. Fordy, Liam, JW and Axel four-way as the rain starts to come down, the track getting wet. It's going to be a lot of iffy braking points, and Fordy just launching it through, hitting Liam. Backs out this time. Just taking it take it easy, boys. Take it easy. Just no need to go full send. You're in the rain on slick tyres. JW running out wide, and wide is not where you want to be as the rain comes down. Wet marbles is not great. And that McLaren looping it around. And who's that else off? Is it Wumjo? Wumjo is off from the lead. And with massive damage now. Axel off the track. Oh, and Wumjo's around again. Manages to keep it out the wall this time. However, that heavy damage, oh god, what's that? That's JW going off. Waiting for the rejoin. So as these lot all start struggling with the worsening conditions, Jeff has now lost it. Axel slowly picking up places. He's got a time penalty, so that might be worth watching in a second. Bon has dropped it and is dropping it again. And who's this? Diva doing a few donuts, going round and round and round and round. Axel serving his penalty, doing an alright job of keeping control. Bon has dropped it and is continuing to drop it. Fordy goes off as well. So Fordy's just looped it on the curb and he's going round and round and round. Oh, it just pulls across the track. You cannot rejoin like that. That is a serious no-no. You cannot cut across the racing line as you rejoin. Luckily, no damage and the car ghosting. Wumjo into the pits to repair all his damage and probably get some new tyres. Axel doing a tyre stop by the looks of it. Liam as well. JW has missed the pit lane and has decided to carry on. So whether that is part of the strategy, thinking I'm just going to stick it out. Jeff is also going to stick it out. BSF is on some wet tyres now and closing in, and oh, it's JW parked across the middle of the road, gets out the way just in time as BSF dropping it up the hill. It's going to pick up a time penalty for track limits, definitely there. Does so. Bon taking it very, very gently indeed in the Supra. Jeff closing in. Ryan up at the front has got damage. Also taking it very, very, very easy. Probably to not sustain any further damage. Hoping that the track will start to dry out, and as it does, those dry tyres will slowly breathe in more life and slowly build up temperature and become usable again. And the dry line there forming on the track already. Oh, and he's dropped it. He's in the gravel. Sticks it straight into reverse. He's all on his own. Bon is still a long way off. Good recovery. Very good recovery. BSF is up to second, all over the curbs and serving a penalty. But as he does so, Bon and Jeff go back through. Just through this little left-hand kink. BSF now pulls out of Jeff's slipstream and into the bus stop. Thinks about a move. Decides not to, and the track very rapidly drying. BSF off the track again, but this time driving around the outside of Jeff, who on those mediums still struggling. And straight up the bum of BSF, taking him off the track. Gives that place straight back. There's no stress there. Just on the wet stuff, out braking himself. As we go up the hill, BSF all sorts of sideways. Oh, there's Ryan off into the wall. Really struggling with those softs and the damage. And that's allowed BSF to run off into the lead shortly. And I say shortly. The track wetness dropping rapidly will mean that these slick racing tyres will start to take over as the preferred tyre. And look at that massive dry line, or drying line. And as long as those guys on the dry tyres stay off the curbs, they should be okay. BSF running wide, using all the wet parts, keep those tyres cool. Bon now with that. Oh, and BSF on the curb. Holds the slide, loses the place, but keeps the car under control-ish. Doesn't take a penalty, but may well do so for this little part. And again, possibly gets away with it. But those wet tyres will rather rapidly just disintegrate as the track continues to dry. A little shower causing a rather large stir as Ryan now starts to make his way back forward from that spin. BSF is back into the pits, so wondering why the camera couldn't follow him, because he wasn't on the track. Bon on those mediums in the Supra, the naughty car. Jeff warming them tyres up nicely in the Ferrari. Getting on the curbs, don't want to be doing that. Gets away with it. Ryan struggling on with the damage, not making the impression back towards the front. Axel on the intermediate, sliding up the hill, followed by Liam, followed by Wumjo and JW, all on the intermediates. JW the next dry runner in 7th. Percolele on wets, 40 on intermediates. As the track dries out, the intermediates will be better than the wets for a short time until they also become useless. JW on the inside, up, keeps it on the dry line. Wumjo off in the background. Picking up a penalty for track limits, Liam as well. And Axel onto the curb, also with a track limit penalty. Hunting down the wet patches, trying to keep those tyres cool for as long as possible. Ryan chasing Jeff, chasing Bon. Diva still on mediums, has pitted. He has pitted for some fresh tyres. And he's sitting at the back on some dry tyres, very nice. BSF with a 3-second penalty for cutting the pit lane lines by the looks of it, is also on mediums and is looking at closing back in on these this leading pack as soon as possible. Liam on the full wets, really struggling. Oh, and Wumjo's off. Wumjo is out of control. And gets a reset for sliding down the grass too far. JW looking at Percolele. Ryan into the pits to get off those tyres, get that damage repaired. Liam looking for a move up the inside on the curb, somewhere where JW just cannot go for the moment. JW holding it with the mediums on the dry line. Percolele with another time penalty, going off track up the hill. And as these tyres start to die, customary yawn in the middle of the race. As those wet and intermediates die off, Percolele up the inside, running wide. Loses that place back to 40. Axel up the road. Jeff is still chasing down Bon, but losing time hand over fist this lap. 40 now with a substantial enough lead over Percolele. JW back up the inside of Liam. Liam looking for the move. Holds that right side lane. Still there. Gonna get the run into the next right-hander. Sticks it on the curb, a little bit of a bump. Nothing wrong with that. Sends it over the curb. JW with a switchback and a half. As they approach Percolele being slow in the middle of the track. Liam all over the place hunting for the wet stuff. Percolale and Liam right off the road. BSF, having pitted, is now back up to 6th. Climbing those curbs, and some of the runners into the pit lane to change off those wet tyres. So Liam is in, Percolale is in, Joe is in. BSF up the inside of JW. Fordy still on those intermediates, is chugging along right behind Axel now. And as these dry runners pick up the pace, they're going to slowly close in. And make up time, as they won't have to pit while the others do. Axel's off, and Fordy up the inside, just nudging him out the way. Keeps that place. BSF now all over the back of Axel. Goes up the inside, on the outside for the next corner. Round he goes. Switch back on Fordy, and up the inside into Pouhon, and he's going to make it stick. So the fresh tyres and the fuel top up not hindering at all on this slowly drying track. The racing line now fully dry. For the holding on, Axel holding on as well. JW looking for that switchback. He's gonna have to park it just for a minute while they serve the penalties. And as they serve them, status quo stays. Ryan, having pitted and repaired the damage, is a long way back on some mediums, but may be able to close in quite quickly. Or should definitely close in quite quickly. As we come up to the line, looks like he's going to take that fastest lap quite comfortably. 2:25 turns into a 2:23.2, and Fordy and Axel have now pitted, so Ryan up to 5th. Oh, and JW's binned it on the first corner. Does a little loop-de-loop. Divas on those mediums is going to make a lot of places up, as these other guys take a rather long pit stop. Joe coming into the final corners now. He's on dry tyres. Should be able to clear these guys quite comfortably, as long as you can keep it on the track. The next runner, Liam, on the softs. Percolale at the back, slowly. And Percolale's out. Percolale is out with a disconnect. Axel out the pits on some softs into a very wet pit lane. Does a good job. Keeps it clean. Fordy as well. Liam does jump them both. Womjo as well, jumping everyone in the pits. Diva making the most places from last to 6th. And with the no damage and higher fuel, should be able to make some good moves here on JW. JW will be slower on the straight, and as long as Diva can keep it there, he's in a very good position. Gonna watch this move as we come down to JW wide onto the curb. Diva into the bus stop chicane, lines it up, gets it rotated nicely. JW getting a bit of acceleration difference. Diva going wide onto the wet stuff, cooling the tyres, trying to prolong the life. A little wiggle over the curb, setting JW up for a good slipstream down this next straight. As a lift and a lift again. Plants that throttle, gets the run, goes for the move, and does so nicely. Just goes straight past JW and into the next braking zone. Confirms that with slightly deep but good positioning. Ryan now in 4th after that pit stop, trying to get to the end potentially. We're at halfway mark. BSF all over the curbs, pitting a little bit earlier, has got a few laps less of fuel. Trying to close down on Jeff. And Bon, who is a long way up the road at the moment. Jeff coming across the line. BSF following. A long way back. And a little way back from that is Ryan. So these top 4 really spread out. 5th place even further back with Diva, JW getting back past Diva as the track starts to dry out further and that wet line almost disappears entirely. But Diva going back past the slow McLaren, and these two, as they duke it out, keeping themselves entertained. JW lining Diva up. Diva getting on the curb, getting a good exit. We'll have an extra little bit of an acceleration advantage over the McLaren with the damage. They're both hunting the wet patch to keep the tyres cool. Don't want to keep them too cool, boys. And the mist and the clouds are rolling back in. Womjo closing in on the power in front. Liam as well with the softs, making his way back forward. Fordy chasing down 2. Axel, having pitted the lap before the last of the pitters, onto some softs, looking to make up some places. But as the darkness rolls in once again, this could get interesting. Bon up in the lead, just taking it nice and easy. 234s. Jeff following down now, nicely worn mediums. Getting low on the fuel, not as low as this Supra though. BSF having a little top up in that pit stop, flying along. Closing in slowly. Ryan as well. Up in 4th. Diva with a track limit penalty, still ahead of JW, although that will change as he serves this penalty, potentially. JW in the slipstream should just coast up and will be in a position to make a move. And as he goes for it, sends it up the inside, side by side, nice and clean. Diva drops in front though, and the windscreen wipers are on. And as the windscreen wipers come on, Diva continues, Wamjo follows. BSF up in 3rd. Just keeping it tidy. And that rain getting heavier and heavier, the track getting less and less grip as we go by the second. Jeff on those worn mediums, having not pitted. And Bond with bingo fuel. Bond's gonna have to make it this lap. Gonna have to pit this lap, if not massively fuel save for one more. Jeff, not sure he's got the fuel in the tyres to keep going. BSF wide onto the curb, picking up a track limit penalty. Ryan taking it nice and gentle, he's not looking to stop. Bon is in. BSF with a 4-wheel drift, way off the track. May pick up another penalty for that one. Does as well, another whole second. And that is back into the pits by the looks of it. Yes, definitely into the pit lane. Jeff continuing on. He's going to try and extend this lead as far as possible. Bon in for tyres and fuel. And this massively long pit lane. Ryan continuing on. He's got rear damage. I haven't seen the off that caused it. As you take in the first corner, it appears that the rain has already stopped. The track not getting as wet this time. Bon has come out on some soft tyres, taking it very gentle up the hill. "15 minutes to go." BSF finally getting out of the pits. Fresh mediums. And likely going to pick up the time penalty for coming out of the pit lane. Doesn't. Keeps it clean this time. Diva on those mediums, still not pitted from the start, or did he? Did he start on softs? I think he did. Taking it easy. Gonna pick up a track limit penalty for that one. But as these others start to pit again, JW on some intermediates with front damage. Chasing 4D, also with front damage on some intermediates. Axel pitted for intermediates. Diva off again, just keeping it slow, trying not to get those penalties. Using the high gears to kill the wheel spin. Very good tactic. Ryan with that damage. BSF now with front damage as well, having pitted. Not ideal. That's going to scupper those chances. Bon having pitted for some softs. It's looking rather racy. Jeff losing a lot of time that lap. May be able to come out in a decent-ish place, should. BSF wide again, another half-second penalty there. Up to 2 seconds worth of penalties. It's been an awful outlap. As he hits that penalty line, almost coming to a stop. Diva up to 5th, not very far behind, as Axel on the intermediates now is chasing him down. So those intermediates are going to be okay for now. But whether they will continue to work until the end of this race, we do not know. Diva running wide. 4D and Axel on those intermediates, racing down to the bus stop. BSF out of the first corner. Jeff is coming out of the pit lane. And there's Jeff just cresting the hill. BSF with the damage probably won't be able to turn. Hits the wall. Is off out wide again. And what little damage there may have been is now catastrophic damage. And that's pretty much sealed that 4th place. Ryan and Bond duking it out up at the top of the course. These two, with Bond's penalty for the Supra pending, Ryan is the de facto leader, followed by Jeff. BSF in 4th. Axel, 4D, Diva on those mediums, still plodding along. As the track continues to dry out, with 12 minutes to go, if he can make it to the end on fuel, he's in a really good position. JW on some intermediates. Will probably take Diva at the next corner. Diva dropping out wide. Gets that cut back. Slowly picking up the pace. Just easing off, letting JW through on the faster tyres for now. Liam on full wets. Quite a long way back. Will probably catch up, but may need to pit again. Wumjo down in last on intermediates. Not enjoying that Ferrari at all. Back up at the front. Those soft tyres have definitely warmed up and have kicked in. Jeff and BSF just trailing around in third and fourth. Axel, 4D, JW, Diva coming through the bus stop. And these intermediates starting to burn up already. The guys all hunting for the wet patches, including Diva on the dry tyres, trying to stretch them out as far as possible and may well make it to the end. That's Axel on the outside of 40. JW closing in rapid. And as they bounce their way up the hill, three-way slipstream, there comes Diva in the background. Axel takes the lead of this mid-pack. Followed by 40, JW, all of them running deep there. Axel is so far off the track, he's in a different postcode. And the whole time, Diva sat there on those mediums, now closing back in. Liam picking up a half-second penalty for track limits on the full wets, also closing in on this mid-pack. Gonna get interesting towards the end here. Diva on the probably faster preferred tyre right now, as long as he can keep it on the dry line. Should be all good. Short shifting, fuel saving, killing that wheel spin. Liam lunging on the wet tyres. We'll have the drive off the curbs. Goes for the move. Oh. And that's JW with a disconnect. Not ideal. Wet tyre Liam serving a penalty very shortly. Diva dropping back to 8th. Must have had a slight off with Liam overtaking. It's let 40 and Axel get up the road a bit. As we continue to watch this midfield battle, Axel bails. Axel's gone to the pit lane. So that leaves Liam and 40 on some wetter tyres. BSF nowhere near Jeff, not being able to catch up with that damage. See the twerkiness of the car, trying to keep it in a straight line. Jeff having a bit of a moment there, losing some time. Bond as well is off, allowing Ryan through. Liam dropping back from 40 as his tyres just disintegrate. Diva on those mediums, definitely fuel saving now, trying to get to the end. Knows he doesn't have to stress too hard, given his position. All he's got to do is keep it on that dry line and not do that too often, and he'll be fine. Liam's tyres almost completely shot. 40 not much better off. As 40 trails it around. It's going to be hard pressed to make another 2 laps potentially. Maybe 3 at a push. Keeping it tidy. Liam looking for every wet patch available. Diva closed right back up onto him. Diva onto the wet stuff himself, trying to cool his tyres down. Liam continuing on. If there is 2 more laps to go, Liam is going to be absolutely crying in pain. Joe's intermediates not looking much better. Axel on some fresh softs with a 3.5 second penalty for track limits pit lanes. Serves that, but fresh softs and a bit of fuel. Plenty of time to make up. Diva now climbing the hill. Liam all out of shape on those almost bold wet tyres. Diva with the overrun should just be able to cruise past. Well, doesn't, so the fuel saving stopping Diva from making the pass there. And as these two fight, 40 is a little bit up the road with that damage, just slowly chugging on. Trying to keep the wet stuff as much as possible. BSF with the damage, not making any headway. Jeff as well in that lonely 3rd place as the 2 leaders duking it out still, showing us that they are having fun. Oh, excuse me. 40 up the road. Liam finally losing out to Diva, who will now set off down the road after 40. And with only one, or Liam off in the background. And with only 1 lap left, for these guys at least, there's a very good chance that Fordy may hold on. However, Fordy has got the penalty for not slowing down earlier on. And as we come on to the final lap for these midfield runners, Jeff is off the track and has lost it. He's into 4th. Now, can BSF hold on? With the damage? That's the question. He's on the slower tyre. And more fuel, so heavier, slower tyre, and damaged. Just may not be able to do anything to stop Jeff coming back. There is a sizable lead. It's enough to not have slipstream just yet. Oh, running wide, got to get off that wet stuff. He's off the track as BSF. That's going to let Jeff come back. No penalty for the track limits. Jeff is all over the back, and all he's got to do is just bide his time, and that's definitely not ideal. probably a track limit penalty. If not, gets away with it. But with the damage, Jeff is now all over him. BSF taking the defensive line. Oh, he hits the grass. Immediately onto the brakes, losing control himself. And that's these two done as the time runs out. And Diva coming home in a respectable 6th place. Liam gonna come home in a 7th. Plenty of space ahead of Wumjo, who's got Axel on the dry tyres. Coming into the last little bit. Wumjo has got nothing to give back. Sends it. May get a track limit for that. He does. And unfortunately that means that Wumjo will come last regardless. On track. Two leaders managing to get onto a final lap. Ryan with a penalty. Also on bingo fuel. Is Ryan going to run out of fuel 2 races on the trot? If he does, that will be quite comical. Short shifting, trying to keep the fuel alive. Bonner's ran away, however the penalty for using a legal car will be given after the race. I'll have to double check with a couple of the other admins just to see what we're going to do. Bon comes home on track in first and Ryan in second. So Bon followed by Ryan, Jeff, BSF, 4D, Diva respectable 6th, having no wet tyre changes. Liam, Axel, Wumjo, JW and Percolele at the back there with the disconnects. Now if you are interested in joining any of the series that we hold here at LazArcade, give us a like and a follow, drop a message and I'll send you the Discord links for ourselves and the Precision Motorsport guys. I do have a Facebook. It's BSF Gaming at Facebook. Go jump on the page. You'll see the logos. Drop us a message and a follow and I'll get the details to you. That will conclude it for today. Well done to the guys. There's a few penalties to be dished out. They will be listed in the Discord as well. So for now, this is BSF Gaming signing off. Enjoy the rest of your day. See you again soon.